We have Jim Murray here, who is the former GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, and a whole host of other people. Right now, though, it's no party for local residents who pay more in this region than almost anywhere else in the country for their auto insurance. We're giving you an opportunity to tell us what you think about this, so if you want to join in, go ahead and give us a call. Remember, you can also email me or take our web poll at cn8.tv. Let's take our first call of the night and see what people are saying about auto insurance rates. Jean, hey, it's good to have you with us. It's your call.
Hello, good evening. I'm Jean from Plainfield, New Jersey, and I have a question.
Sure.
As of this coming Sunday, I will have been a licensed driver in good standing for 30 years. Yet every year, my insurance rate escalates.
I know.
And
doesn't that make you crazy? The better you drive, the more you pay.
And, is it because I'm getting older? My eyes are just as good as they were before, and I can't imagine why the rates keep escalating. And also, I wanted to know what prompted the departure of the carriers for personal auto lines out of New Jersey.
All right, two good questions. Let's see if our special commissioner can respond to that.
Well, essentially, insurance, like everything, has gone up. Insurance, auto insurance in particular, is driven up. The costs are driven up by things like health care. You know, as part of your auto insurance policy, you actually get health care if you don't choose to use health care as primary. So all the drivers and all the things that increase costs generally will also increase your rates in insurance. However, having the Department of Insurance there, we scrutinize every increase that's filed by auto insurers to make sure that we're protecting the consumer, to ensure that companies need those rates. And we also are there to protect the consumer with respect to solvency. We have to make sure that companies have rate adequacy so that companies can meet their obligations to their policyholder.
I know we're going to have a lot of questions specifically about why you pay what you do or whether it has to do with your age or whatever. So go ahead and feel free. If we can come up with the answers for you, we're going to give that a try. I want to introduce John Teen, who's the president of the Insurance Council of New Jersey. He's here, and hopefully he'll be able to provide some light on this, including why do we pay more even as we get older? I thought after we hit 25 we were supposed to get a break, and like Gene said, it just doesn't happen.
Well, the challenge is New Jersey's got a lot of things going against it. One, demographics. The challenge is we've got hundreds of thousands of accidents every year because we're a small state, got a lot of cars in it, and everybody hits each other. Plus, we're a state that's affluent. Most of the cars out there are late model cars that are expensive to repair. We also have great medical care. So the result is that if you're in an accident and you're injured, you're going to get the best medical care, but that also costs. And it's just volume. It's sheer volume. I don't think people realize that we have millions of claims every year.
So I'm going to go back to the very first question that I asked at the beginning of this hour. Given that information that you just shared with us, is it worth the time and attention and the money that this administration is going to spend on this issue to do anything about it?
Yes.
None of those things are going to change, John. I mean, it's still going to be, we're going to have too many people on the highway, we're going to have expensive cars, and we're going to need good medical care.
But I think one of the things the governor touched on yesterday was very important, and that is equity and fairness. Right now, nobody thinks this system is fair. Insurance companies don't think it's fair because everybody's leaving. Consumers don't think it's fair because it's complicated, because they don't have a lot of choices. And so, yes, will auto insurance always be expensive? Yes. But the system can be better because it can be fairer, it can be more understandable, and for the vast majority of drivers who are good, decent drivers, premiums can be less than they are.
When you say less than they are, though, what are we talking about? I mean, are you going to make a significant difference in someone's annual payment, or are we talking, 5% of the
payment? If you're talking about the governor, I think the governor wants lower rates. In fairness to Mr. Teen in the industry, they want higher rates. They make more money when they get more
adequate rates.
Well, your view of adequate and driver's view of adequate are radically different. We think rates are too high in New Jersey. We think maybe we have to lower the medical component. As you talked about, it's the second highest in the country. Maybe we have to have slightly less medical care and substantially lower premiums, because we pay way too much money every quarter or every 6 months to your companies, and most of the companies are not leaving the state. A couple are talking about leaving the state, but we're paying too much all the time.
I will disagree with you. We have had 7 companies leave the state last year that wrote 130,000 vehicles We've got the state's number one auto insurance carrier that insures literally 700,000, leaving as we speak, non-renewing 4,000 vehicles a month, and the state's sixth largest auto insurance carrier is poised to leave the state at the end of this year.
I don't deny there's a very serious
So we
problem
now
there.
have 20 companies left writing auto insurance.
John, you've got to
and that's a
recognize
big
there are two
difference.
serious problems. The other serious problem is the cost that we drivers in New Jersey bear, and other drivers in the region, but particularly New Jersey, that's just out of control, and we have to get it under control for once. We haven't done it in a generation.
Senator, I don't disagree with that.
But let's deal with a real specific problem. If you remove the medical benefit on the automobile insurance policy, I suggest to you, Senator, that we will see a reduction. Let me give you a quick example. A trial attorney who's a mutual friend of yours and mine called me up. He said, I had a woman, she tripped and fell on a sidewalk in front of a store. She broke her nose, it had to be operated on. I had another client that was a passenger in an automobile. As a result of a side collision, she fractured her nose. The woman who fell on the sidewalk, her health insurance paid $2,200 for everything. The operation, doctors, radiologists, whatever. The automobile insurance company paid $22,000 for that. My doctor friends tell me, if you love me, don't abolish no fault, because the highest paid pay that we get comes from the automobile insurance companies. I think we have to look at that.
Well, what the governor is actually trying to address that with the increased focus on fraud. Believe it or not, New Jersey's the PIP component has only grown by 2%. Whereas in the cost of personal injury protection, whereas you look at other states, it's grown to 14 and 15%. So we're doing some things right in this state, and we need to ensure that we continue to do those things, to drive out fraud, and also to ensure that good drivers are not paying for bad drivers. The question is, we have to have a balanced approach that ensures that companies have adequate rates so they can meet their obligations. It's in no one's interest that if a consumer goes to file a claim, that insurance company isn't there and can't pay for the claim.
Let's hear from the consumers. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to take some more of your phone calls, including talking to Tom and Al and Thomas. We want to know what you think about this auto insurance reform idea. Do you think it can work, or do you think we need to throw the whole thing out and start again? And when we come back, we're going to ask you how your rates compare. Do you think you pay too much?